Today, we're diving into the most intense period of aviation history, the Cold War era. From the first swept-wing fighters screaming over Korea to the digital-age superfighters of the 1980s, these are the jet fighters that shaped an entire generation of aerial warfare. Let's start with the first generation, the pioneers that proved jet fighters could absolutely dominate the skies. F-86 Sabre. The F-86 Sabre wasn't just America's first swept-wing fighter. It was a legend that was born in the skies over Korea. With its distinctive nose intake and those graceful lines, the Sabre achieved an absolutely stunning 10-to-1 kill ratio against MiG-15s during the Korean War. Captain Joseph McConnell became America's first triple jet ace in a Sabre, scoring 16 kills. What made this fighter so special? American pilots brought World War II experience, sure, but the Sabre itself was beautifully balanced. It responded to pilot inputs like an extension of their own body. It could outturn the MiG-15 at high altitude, and that hydraulic flight control system gave pilots a critical edge in the brutal high-speed dogfights over MiG-Alley. MiG-15. Now here's the Soviet answer, and honestly, it was absolutely terrifying when it first appeared. The MiG-15 shocked UN forces when it showed up in Korea. It could outclimb and outgun anything the West had initially. Powered by a reverse-engineered British jet engine called the Nini, this fighter was designed for one purpose: to destroy American B-29 bombers. Its 37mm cannon and twin 23mm cannons could shred a bomber with a single burst. In November 1950, MiG-15 shot down multiple B-29s in a single engagement, forcing the U.S. to switch to night bombing. The MiG-15 was crude compared to the Sabre, sure, but it was produced in absolutely staggering numbers, over 12,000 built. It served with dozens of air forces and proved Soviet design philosophy: simple, rugged, and deadly. Hawker Hunter. Now here's British elegance in the jet age. The Hunter was simply gorgeous with its smooth lines and that distinctive curved windscreen. RAF pilots absolutely loved it, calling it a pilot's aircraft. It handled like a dream, and that Rolls-Royce Avon engine gave it impressive power. The Hunter became the RAF's first aircraft to break the sound barrier in level flight. The Hunter saw combat everywhere, from the Suez Crisis to conflicts in the Middle East and Africa. Even Switzerland operated Hunters until the 1990s. It was reliable, tough, and proved that British aviation engineering could still produce world-class fighters. F-100 Super Sabre. The F-100 Super Sabre, the Hun, as pilots called it, was America's first supersonic fighter to enter service. The F-100 could exceed Mach 1 in level flight, which was a massive achievement for the time. But early models were dangerous, suffering from a nasty pitch-up problem that killed several test pilots. North American aviation had to redesign the tail surfaces, making them significantly larger. The Super Sabre saw extensive combat in Vietnam, primarily as a ground attack aircraft, dropping bombs and napalm. In 1965, an F-100 scored the first U.S. Air Force air-to-air kill of the Vietnam War. It was fast, powerful, and could carry a tremendous weapons load, but it never got the glory of sustained air-to-air combat in Vietnam. MiG-17. Don't let the designation fool you. The MiG-17 was a completely different beast from the MiG-15. It had a new wing design and afterburner and could actually go supersonic in a dive. Vietnamese pilots used MiG-7s to devastating effect against American aircraft, exploiting its incredible maneuverability at low speeds. While American F-4 Phantoms were faster and had missiles, the nimble MiG-17 could outturn them in a knife fight. North Vietnamese ace Nguyen Van Cock scored 9 kills in a MiG-17, proving that speed is in everything in aerial combat. On April 4, 1965, MiG-17s scored the first Vietnamese victory when they downed 2 F-105 Thunder Chiefs, F-104 Starfighter, the F-104 Starfighter, the missile with a man in it. Kelly Johnson's Lockheed design was radical, incredibly thin, straight wings, a needle-like fuselage, and phenomenal speed. The F-104 could reach Mach 2 and climb like a rocket. In 1958, It set a world altitude record of 103,389 feet, but those tiny wings made it unforgiving. Germany lost hundreds of starfighters in accidents, earning it the grim nickname Widowmaker. Despite its troubled reputation in Europe, the F-104 set world records, and in the right hands it was an interceptor of incredible capability. It just demanded absolute precision from its pilots. English Electric Lightning. The English Electric Lightning, Britain's supersonic interceptor, was absolutely unique. The Lightning had its two engines stacked vertically, one above the other, a configuration never repeated in any other fighter. This allowed for an incredibly slim fuselage and a phenomenal climb rate. The Lightning could intercept targets at 60,000 feet and reach Mach 2. RAF pilots remember it as the most exciting aircraft they ever flew. Raw power and speed. In 1984, a Lightning intercepted a Concorde supersonic airliner at 57,000 feet, one of aviation's most legendary encounters. Its range was atrocious, barely enough to patrol the UK, but for pure performance, the Lightning was breathtaking. MiG-19. The MiG-19, the Soviet Union's first true supersonic fighter. The MiG-19 was a brute. Twin engines, powerful cannons, and the ability to sustain supersonic flight. Not just in dives, it never achieved the fame of other MiGs, but it was an important stepping stone. The Chinese loved it so much, they built their own version, the Shenyang J-6, producing thousands of them. During the Vietnam War, Chinese-built J-6s shot down several American aircraft. The MiG-19 proved Soviet designers could match Western performance, and its combat record in various conflicts showed it was a formidable opponent. F-4 Phantom II, the F-4 Phantom II. Oh, the Phantom! This was the ultimate multi-role fighter of its era. Designed initially as a Navy interceptor, the F-4 became the workhorse for both the Navy and Air Force. It was big, heavy, and powerful, with two massive engines that could push it to Mach 2.2. The Phantom served in Vietnam, the Middle East, and dozens of other conflicts. What's remarkable, it was designed without an internal gun, relying entirely on missiles. Vietnam taught them that was a mistake. During Operation Bolo in 1967, F-4 Phantoms shot down 7 MiG-21s in a single engagement, the largest air battle of the Vietnam War. The F-4 was a brute force aircraft, not elegant, but devastatingly effective when properly employed. MiG-21. The MiG-21, the most produced supersonic fighter in history, over 11,000 built. The MiG-21 was small, simple, and fast. It became the symbol of Soviet military exports, serving with over 50 countries. In Vietnam and the Middle East, against Israeli Mirages and Phantoms. In South Asia, the MiG-21 was everywhere. It was a short-range interceptor designed to get up fast, fire missiles, and land before fuel ran out. In 1999, during the Kargil War, an Indian MiG-21 shot down a Pakistani F-16, an incredible achievement for such an older design. Despite limited range and primitive avionics by Western standards, in skilled hands, the MiG-21 was deadly. Its longevity is remarkable. Some nations still operate upgraded variants today. Dassault Mirage III. The Dassault Mirage III, French independence in action. The Mirage III was Europe's answer to American dominance, a delta-wing beauty that could reach Mach 2. Israel made the Mirage famous, using it to devastating effect in the Six-Day War, where Israeli pilots achieved air superiority within hours. On the first day alone, Israeli Mirages destroyed over 300 enemy aircraft. The Mirage was sleek, fast, and reliable. France sold it worldwide, and its simple delta-wing design influenced fighters for decades. The Mirage proved that European designers could compete with the superpowers. F-105. Thunderchief. The F-105. Thunderchief over the Thud was a beast, the largest single-seat fighter ever built. Designed as a nuclear strike aircraft, the F-105 ended up becoming the primary strike aircraft over North Vietnam. It could carry more bombs than a World War II B-17 bomber. Thunderchief pilots faced the most intense anti-aircraft defenses in history, flying through walls of flak and SAM missiles. The F-105 suffered heavy losses, But those pilots were among the bravest, flying into hell every single day. On March 10, 1967, an F-105 pilot named Major Leo Thorsness earned the Medal of Honor for an incredible rescue mission. The Thud was fast at low level, tough as nails, and utterly respected by those who flew it. Su-7 Fighter. The Su-7 Fighter, Soviet ground attack philosophy embodied. The Su-7 was a swept-wing fighter bomber that emphasized ruggedness over sophistication. It could operate from rough airstrips, handle tremendous battle damage, and deliver impressive weapons loads. The Sukhoi Design Bureau created a simple, reliable aircraft that Soviet client states could maintain easily. While it lacked the sophistication of Western aircraft, the Su-7 saw combat in numerous conflicts across Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia. During the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War, Indian Su-7s flew hundreds of ground attack missions. It proved that simplicity has its advantages. F-8 Crusader. The F-8 Crusader, the last of the gunfighters. The F-8 was a Navy carrier fighter with a unique variable incidence wing that tilted up for landing, improving pilot visibility. Unlike the Phantom, the Crusader had an internal cannon, and Navy pilots absolutely loved it. In Vietnam, F-8 pilots achieved the best kill ratio of any American fighter, 19-1. Commander Richard Bellinger became an ace in the Crusader, scoring his 5th kill in 1972. It was fast, maneuverable, and perfectly suited for dogfighting. The Crusader embodied the fighter pilot's ideal, a single-seat aircraft where skill and courage mattered most. MiG-23 Flogger. The MiG-23 Flogger, the Soviet Union's first production fighter with variable sweep wings. The MiG-23 was meant to replace the MiG-21 with longer range and better avionics. Those swing wings swept back for high-speed flight and forward for takeoff and landing. It looked menacing with its angular design and large radar nose. The MiG-23's combat record was mixed, suffering heavy losses in Middle Eastern conflicts against Israeli F-15 and F-16. During Operation Peace for Galilee in 1982, Israeli fighters shot down dozens of Syrian MiG-23s. Soviet export variants were significantly downgraded, and pilot training in client states was often poor. The MiG-23 was capable in the right hands, but it never achieved the success the Soviets hoped for. A-4 Skyhawk, the A-4 Skyhawk, Heinemann's hot rod. Designed by Ed Heinemann as a lightweight carrier attack aircraft, the A-4 was so successful it served for over 40 years. Small, nimble, and cheap to operate, the Skyhawk could carry an impressive weapons load despite its size. It saw extensive combat in Vietnam, and Israeli pilots used it brilliantly in multiple wars. During the Yom Kippur War, Israeli Skyhawks flew thousands of sorties. The A-4 proved that bigger wasn't always better. Its simplicity meant easy maintenance, and carriers could pack more of them in tight spaces. A true classic that served far longer than anyone expected. MiG-25 Fox-Bat. The MiG-25 Fox-Bat, the terror of the West until one defected to Japan. The MiG-25 was designed to intercept American SR-71 spy planes and B-70 bombers. It could fly at Mach 2.8, faster than almost anything else in the sky. When Soviet pilot Viktor Belenko defected with a Fox-Bat in 1976, Western intelligence was shocked to discover it was built with vacuum tubes instead of transistors and constructed from heavy steel rather than titanium. But here's the thing, it worked. The MiG-25 could reach incredible speeds and altitudes. It was a specialized interceptor, not a dogfighter, and for its intended role, it was formidable. Iraqi Fox-Bats evaded multiple F-15 and F-14 missiles during the Gulf War by simply outrunning them. A 7 Corsair, to the A-7 Corsair II, the slough or short little ugly. Well, pilots used a different F word. The A-7 was a subsonic attack aircraft derived from the supersonic F-8 Crusader. It traded speed for payload and accuracy. The Corsair II had the most sophisticated navigation and bombing systems of any tactical aircraft when introduced. Navy and Air Force pilots appreciated its reliability and precision. In the Gulf War, A-7s flew combat missions with remarkable accuracy, including the very first strike of Desert Storm when they attacked Iraqi early warning radars. It wasn't sexy or fast, but it got the job done mission after mission. F-14 Tomcat. The F-14 Tomcat. Top Gun made it a legend, but the Tomcat was already legendary among naval aviators. Those swing wings, the powerful AWG-9 radar system that could track 24 targets simultaneously, and the long-range Phoenix missiles made it the ultimate fleet defender. The F-14 was designed to protect carrier battle groups from Soviet bomber attacks. It was huge, complex, and expensive, but absolutely dominant in its role. In 1981, two F-14s shot down two Libyan Su-22s in the Gulf of Sidra incident. Iranian F-14s achieved impressive kill ratios in the Iran-Iraq War, with some pilots scoring over 10 victories. Despite parts embargoes, the Tomcat was a pilot's dream, powerful and capable of incredible maneuvers despite its size. Mirage F-1. The Mirage F-1, France's conventional answer to the delta-wing Mirage III. The F-1 had a more traditional wing design, better range, and improved low-speed handling. It was more practical than the Mirage III for ground attack missions. Iraq, Libya, and South Africa operated F-1s extensively in combat. During the Iran-Iraq War, Iraqi Mirage F-1s were responsible for numerous air-to-air kills. The Mirage F-1 represented French pragmatism, taking the lessons from the Mirage III and creating a more versatile fighter. It never achieved the fame of its predecessor, but it was arguably a better all-around aircraft. F-15 Eagle. The F-15 Eagle. Not a pound for air-to-ground. The F-15 was designed with one purpose: air superiority, and it's achieved an unmatched combat record, over 100 kills with 0 losses in air-to-air combat. The Eagle combined powerful engines, advanced radar, a high thrust-to-weight ratio, and excellent maneuverability. It could accelerate vertically, outmaneuver anything Soviet, and its radar could detect targets at unprecedented ranges. In 1979, an Israeli F-15 landed safely after losing an entire wing in a mid-air collision, an incredible testament to its design. Israeli, Saudi, and American F-15s dominated every conflict they entered. The F-15 proved that American investment in technology and capability could create an almost unbeatable fighter. MiG-29 Fulcrum. The MiG-29 Fulcrum, the Soviet answer to the F-15 and F-16. The MiG-29 was beautiful with its distinctive twin tails and superb maneuverability. It could perform the famous Cobra maneuver, pointing its nose straight up while maintaining forward flight, an aerodynamic impossibility for most fighters. The Fulcrum had an infrared search and track system that didn't rely on radar, making it harder to detect. When Germany reunified, the Luftwaffe inherited MiG-29s and discovered they were formidable dogfighters with excellent short-range capabilities. The MiG-29's weakness was range and outdated avionics compared to Western fighters, but in a close-range fight, it was deadly. F-16 Fighting Falcon. The F-16 Fighting Falcon, the lightweight fighter that became a global phenomenon. The F-16 was revolutionary, designed to be affordable, maneuverable, and multi-role. Its fly-by-wire system allowed radical maneuvers, and that side-mounted joystick and reclined seat helped pilots handle high G-forces. The Viper, as pilots call it, has been adopted by over 25 countries and produced in greater numbers than any Western fighter since the F-4. In 1981, Israeli F-16s destroyed Iraq's Osirak nuclear reactor in Operation Opera, one of the most daring strikes in military history. It's seen combat in countless conflicts and proven incredibly versatile. The F-16 represented a new philosophy: build an excellent aircraft in large numbers, rather than a smaller number of expensive, complex fighters. Su-27 Flanker. The Su-27 Flanker, the Soviet masterpiece. The Su-27 was designed to match the F-15, and many argue it succeeded. It's massive, beautiful, and capable of incredible aerobatic displays. The Flanker's range was impressive, twice that of the MiG-29, and its weapons load substantial. Those distinctive twin tails and the smooth blending of fuselage and wings created an aircraft with exceptional maneuverability and efficiency. In 1987, a Norwegian P-3 Orion was intercepted by a Su-27 that performed a barrel roll over it, an incredible display of pilot skill and aircraft capability. The Su-27 became the foundation for an entire family of fighters still in production today. Watching a flanker perform at an air show is witnessing poetry in motion, raw power combined with grace. Tornado IDS. The Tornado IDS, Europe's collaborative triumph. Britain, Germany, and Italy designed the Tornado as a variable sweep-wing strike aircraft optimized for low-level penetration of Soviet air defenses. It had terrain-following radar that allowed it to fly at 200 feet in complete darkness or terrible weather. The Tornado wasn't a dogfighter. It was a bomber designed to deliver nuclear or conventional weapons deep into enemy territory. In the Gulf War, Tornadoes flew the most dangerous missions, attacking Iraqi airfields at extremely low altitude. On the war's opening night, Tornadoes struck with incredible precision despite heavy defenses. Its specialized role meant it excelled at what it was designed for, even if it wasn't as versatile as American multi-role fighters. F/A-18 Hornet. The F/A-18 Hornet, the ultimate multi-role fighter of the late Cold War. The Hornet could fly a combat air patrol mission in the morning and switch to ground attack in the afternoon. It replaced both the F-4 and A-7 in Navy service, a testament to its versatility. The F/A-18 had excellent handling characteristics, digital fly-by-wire controls, and a combat-proven design. What really set it apart was reliability. Carrier operations are demanding, and the Hornet proved remarkably dependable. In 1991, during Desert Storm, an F/A-18 shot down a MiG and then immediately switched to bombing its ground target, the ultimate demonstration of multi-role capability. It became the standard carrier fighter for the U.S. Navy and was adopted by numerous nations for land-based operations. From the swept-wing pioneers over Korea to the sophisticated digital fighters of the 1980s, Cold War jet fighters represented an incredible era of innovation, competition, and technological achievement. These aircraft stood ready day and night to defend their nations in a war that, thankfully, never came. But their legacy lives on, influencing fighter design to this very day. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Cold War aviation, smash that like button, subscribe for more military history content, and let me know in the comments which of these legendary fighters is your favorite. See you in the next one.